Well, I suppose, Grant, when you look back over the past few weeks, you summed it up quite well, really, at the weekend, that you paid the price a little bit for having dropped the leads in the two home games. You played a lot of good football, but probably haven't got the points you really deserve. But then that's football.
No, we got what we deserved. I stand by that. We weren't clinical enough to keep the leads in the two games, Swindon and Port Vale. Even when we had chances, we didn't take them. And ultimately, you pay the price. Teams are going to come after you and try and get the equaliser, and we paid the price. Sheffield United again. We played well, but we didn't take our chances. It's something that you've been working on constantly now for the past 2-3 weeks, and trying to get more chances, because I know the more chances we'll get, the more goals we're going to get. We want to get our attacking players high up the pitch. We want to get them after the ball more. The pressing, the communication, from everything that needs to click together to create a winning team. And we've been working hard on it this week in terms of our pressing teams high up the pitch, or the positions of some of the players when we're in possession, taking positions off each other and movement and rotation. So hopefully it all comes to fore on Saturday.
Yeah, because obviously when it clicks, we've seen with Millwall what you can do, and it's nice, I suppose, to have that sense of promise. You'd love to be beating everyone every week, but it's nice to know that you're just on the cusp maybe of something really good.
Well, we know we're not far away. I mean, you can rack your brain over it, as you do after a game anyway. But we know we're not far away. You reflect on it Sunday, Monday, and come Tuesday, the game's obviously forgotten about, and we move on to the next one. We've been looking at most of our games, and has there been a pattern? What are we doing? What's been doing wrong? What are we doing right? And just trying to bring it all together, really. We know we're not a team that's going to sit back and defend leads and hopefully nick a 0-0, or when we're 2-1 up, try and defend it. We're not that sort of team. We ain't got them sort of players, but we need to learn that. That's what we need to learn. Some of the boys need to. I was watching Scunthorpe during the week, and they don't play well, but they get a draw out of the game, just with maybe the experience they've got in the team. But our boys are experienced as well. I'd never hide behind the fact that they're not. A lot of them played a lot of games, so they need to start realising that as well.
Yeah, and it's nice to be at this stage talking about yourself, basically in terms of the other sides in League One. You've shown there's nothing to fear. It's nice that you can just talk about yourselves and what you can do.
It's always about us. I think that's just the way I am. I always have been since I've been at the club. It's always about what we do. Yes, you like to go. I mean, you go out and watch games. You try and take a little bit of every team you see, but mainly it's about us and what we want to do in the game. That's just the way we are at the club. It's a philosophy at the club that's been here since I've been a player at the club. So it's something that I enjoy. We continually work on what we need to do better, what we can improve on, and ultimately what we're doing well. We know we're playing well. We know we're keeping the ball well. We know we're getting into good areas to score. It's just taking the chances now, and I'm sure we will.
With Walsall this weekend, obviously they had a great time last season. They've had a lot of change over the summer, but they seem to be finding their feet. They've done well to work their way through that.
They've had a couple of good results, their last two results. There's been a lot of change at Walsall. A lot of players have left. He's brought in a lot of new players, and they're probably starting to gel now. It takes a while. So it's going to be another tricky game for us. But we're at home. I fully expect us to win the game. Anyone we play at home, I expect us to win. And I'm on no different for Saturday.
Inevitably, ahead of the match, people will be talking about Erhan Oztumer, and I think it was the situation that obviously you did work to try and keep him here, but sometimes these things don't quite work out.
Yeah, we tried to keep him. I liked Erhan. He got offered a new contract. The contract that he was offered was more than what he was on previously. So I don't know where he got offered a wage reduction. I don't know where that's come from, but you can't. For me, we've had 2 mediocre years. You can't go and give somebody a big contract when nothing's happened at the club for 2 years. And I fully understand the chairman's decision on it. When Erhan refused the contract, then it was a no-brainer. We moved on. I wasn't going to fight to keep him and ask the chairman for more money and blah blah blah. That's not my style. If I want players who want to be here and want to play for the club rather than the money, really. So it was no big wage reduction. It was actually an increase on his wages that he was going to get. So, but we move on. We've got some very good attacking players here.
Yeah, you've got some. Well, you've worked hard to really have some great options in that area, to the degree that we saw at the weekend. Guion on the bench at this moment in time. Can you see Paul Taylor, Guion, Marcus Maddison, George Moncur? Can all of those players get into the same side, or is it about getting the right balance?
When you pick a team, it is getting the right balance. But yeah, they all can play in the same team. They all bring something different to the team. So there's no two ways about it. They can play in the same team. So it's in terms of getting the balance right. After those players, so that you're right defensively, and you're right in that area of the pitch. So they all definitely can play in the same team. It's just finding the formation and the system that suits them to play in the same team, really.
And I suppose going into games as well, you have to look at what you might want to do later on, which players that you have on the bench, so you can change things at the right time as well.
Yeah, of course, you have to have a strong bench, which we have. And Nathan Ottawa hasn't really had an opportunity as of yet, which is something I'll look to do hopefully over the next 2 or 3 games to give him more of an opportunity, because he's been impressing in the training in the 21 games. He's working hard, and he wants to get in the team. He's here to play in the team, but we've got a lot of good attacking players at the minute, and it's finding a way to get them in the team to play together. That's not going to be a downfall for the rest of the players, I think.
Yeah, and over the past few weeks, you've been working on getting Dion Moore some minutes, and he played a bit last weekend. Will he get to the stage fairly soon where he is under consideration for a start, or is he already at that stage where he could come into the side?
He's already at that stage. That's the reason why he's in the first team squad. He's under consideration every week to play in the team. We have to be careful. He's a young lad. We were careful with Leo as he was breaking through. Leo was probably a year ahead of him in terms of he's been around the first team a lot more than Dion has. But he's trained with us all. He's trained with us all season, from pre-season onwards. He trained a lot with us last year even. So he's been in and around the first team players for a while now. Hasn't played many minutes, but I thought he came on at Sheffield on Saturday. He showed what he was about. The substitution were almost good substitutions when Dion set Guion up and he scores, and it's like, you're a miracle, man, but it wasn't to be. So he's definitely under consideration. He's a good player. He's a strong boy for his age, and he's quick. He runs in behind. So that's a decision I have to make on that one. Yeah,
does he fit in well with both Paul Taylor and Tom Nichols if you want to use them as a combination?
He could play with both of them easily, yeah. He could play with both of them. One thing about, I want to get Tails to start playing more as a striker. More runs in behind. I've shown us clips of when he was here before. I've shown him his goal he scored at Millwall. That's the Paul Taylor that we want to see here, and Tails is well aware of that now. I spoke to him about it, and I think you'll see more of Tails higher up the pitch coming over the next recent weeks, and it's something that we've been working on towards as well.
Does that take a bit of discipline from a player? Because I suppose sometimes it can be a little frustrating when you're waiting for the ball to come to you, maybe rather than dropping deep and getting involved yourself. Do you have to keep telling yourself, this is my role in the team, this is what's wanted from me?
Yeah, it's ultimately getting the right role for the team, but Tails knows that he's got Maddison, Edwards, Moncur, Ottawa, Forrester, De Silva, Lopez behind him. He knows that these sort of people can find you with the ball. So it's about being a bit more hungry, I would say. Tails is hungry he wants to get on the ball in terms of deeper areas, and he affects the game that way. But if we can just change his game a little bit for him to run in behind, because he's strong, he's quick, and he can do that. And it's a little change in terms of his games that he's been playing so far that will probably help him get more goals.
With Andrew Hughes obviously suspended last weekend, has he done enough over previous games that he comes straight back in, or do you have a decision to make there?
Yeah, again, it's a decision to make, but Jerome did okay at Sheffield United. It's been frustrating for him really, because Hughes has been so consistent since he's come. His performance have all been 7, 8 out of 10 every week. He's a real consistent performer. he talks. He's been a leader, you know, at Newport, and thought highly of him there. So it's a decision I have to make in the left back area. I haven't picked no teams. You know, it's Thursday today. I haven't picked any teams today. I never do. I'll leave it to the Friday to see how players have trained and how they are mentally and physically during the week. So it's a decision I have to make, but one that you know, it's a good one to have, really.